At a high-end jewelry store in Riverdale, a black teenager excitedly browses, searching for the perfect gift for his little sister. But the moment he steps inside, that joy is shattered, met with immediate suspicion from the store clerk. And when he accidentally drops a bracelet, that suspicion turns into baseless accusations. Within minutes, the police arrive, blindly accepting the clerk's version of events and slapping handcuffs on him. But what they don't realize, this boy has a powerful ally, his mother. And she's about to turn the situation around in a way no one saw coming. It was a warm Saturday afternoon in Riverdale, a peaceful suburban town where life moved at a leisurely pace. Families strolled through the park, children raced toward the swings, their laughter filling the air, and neighbors exchanged friendly greetings as they made their way to the farmer's market. The golden sunlight bathed everything in a picturesque glow. But for Jalen Carter, today wasn't just another weekend. He had one mission: to find the perfect birthday present for his little sister, Alia. He had been saving for months, working extra shifts at the local coffee shop, carefully tucking away every tip and paycheck. And now, finally, he had enough to buy something truly special: a silver charm bracelet from Belmont Jewelers, the most prestigious jewelry store in town. He had walked past it countless times, pressing his nose against the glass, imagining how Alia's eyes would light up when she saw it.
And today? Today was the day.
He clutched his wallet in his pocket, reassured by the weight of the money inside. This wasn't just a gift. It was a symbol of love, of everything he wanted to give her despite the struggles their family had endured. As he approached the store, the spotless glass windows gleamed under the afternoon sun, reflecting the bustling street behind him. He hesitated, adjusting his hoodie, though it was unzipped, revealing a neatly pressed polo shirt beneath. He was no stranger to the way people sometimes reacted when they saw a young black man in a hoodie. But not today. Not here. Just walk in, buy the bracelet, and leave. Taking a deep breath, he pulled open the heavy glass door, a soft chime echoing through the store. Inside, Belmont Jewelers was just as he had imagined: sleek glass cases, velvet-lined shelves, and rows of dazzling gold and silver gleaming under bright, almost blinding lights. The air smelled of polished wood and expensive cologne. The customers? Mostly older, well-dressed women, their diamond rings catching the light as they admired jewelry that cost more than Jalen had made in his lifetime. He ignored their curious glances, his focus locked on the bracelet he had come for. Behind the counter stood Margaret Whitmore, a middle-aged white woman with carefully styled blonde hair and sharp, calculating eyes. At first, her expression was neutral, but the moment she laid eyes on Jalen,
something changed.
Her lips thinned. Her grip on the counter tightened. The vague boredom in her eyes was replaced with unmistakable scrutiny. Jalen felt it instantly. That shift, that silent but deafening question that always seemed to linger when people like her looked at people like him. "What are you doing here?" He had seen that look before, had felt the weight of suspicion wrap around him like invisible chains every time he stepped into places where people thought he didn't belong. But he wasn't about to let that stop him. Approaching the counter with a polite smile, he pointed at the bracelet displayed inside the case. "I'd like to see that one, please."
His voice was steady. Calm.
Just like his mother had always taught him when dealing with people like this. Margaret, however, didn't move. She simply folded her arms, tilting her head slightly. "Are you sure?" she asked, her tone dripping with condescension. "That one's quite expensive." Jalen's stomach tightened, but he kept his expression neutral. Silently, he reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet, showing the neatly folded cash he had worked so hard to earn. "I'm sure," he said firmly. "I have the money right here." Margaret's eyes flicked to the cash, her lips curling ever so slightly, as if the sight of it offended her. But instead of relaxing, she tensed even more, her fingers twitching near the phone on the counter. Still, she didn't move to grab the bracelet. Instead, she let out a quiet, almost amused scoff. "And where exactly did you get all that money?" The casual tone of her voice did nothing to mask the sharpness of the accusation beneath it. Jalen stiffened. "Excuse me?" he asked, though he already knew where this was going. Margaret arched an eyebrow. It's just a lot of cash for someone your age, she said, never taking her eyes off him. Did you, I don't know, borrow it from someone? Maybe find it lying around. Jalen clenched his jaw. He inhaled deeply, willing himself to stay calm. He had done nothing wrong. I work at Parker's coffee house, he said carefully, enunciating every word. I saved up for this. Margaret made a soft noise of disbelief, shaking her head slightly. She hummed, tapping her nails against the counter. And you expect me to believe that? Jalen swallowed the anger rising in his throat. Yes, he said flatly. Margaret let out a dry chuckle, like she had just heard the most ridiculous joke in the world. Well, she said, finally moving toward the display case. I suppose I should be flattered you thought you could fool me. But I've been here a long time, kid. I know when something doesn't add up. Jalen's hands curled into fists at his sides. He forced them to relax. This was supposed to be simple. He hadn't come here to be humiliated. Can I just see the bracelet, please? His patience was thinning. Margaret sighed, as if he were inconveniencing her, but finally, she pulled out the velvet tray and placed it on the counter. Be careful with it, she warned sharply. It's worth more than what you probably make in a year. Jalen gritted his teeth but said nothing. He reached out, carefully picking up the bracelet, feeling the cool silver against his fingertips. It was perfect, exactly what he had imagined. But just as he turned it slightly, admiring the way the charms dangled, the smooth metal slipped between his fingers. The bracelet tumbled onto the glass counter with a soft clink, then bounced off, hitting the tiled floor below. Jalen's breath caught. Before he could even move to pick it up, Margaret let out a sharp, piercing shriek. Oh my God. I knew it, she shouted, her voice slicing through the store like a siren. Every head turned. Jalen's eyes widened. Wait. Margaret jabbed a finger at him, her face twisting in outrage. I knew you were up to something. You were trying to pocket it, weren't you? Thought you'd get away with it. Jalen's stomach dropped.
What?
No, Margaret lunged for the store phone, dialing frantically. Get the police here. Now, she barked into the receiver. We've got a thief. Young black male, hoodie, tried to steal from us. Jalen stood frozen. The weight of her words hit him like a freight train. And then, in the distance, the wail of sirens. Getting louder. Closer. Everything was about to change.